You thought you got rid of me because I was gone for a week, didn't you? I got some bad news for you. I, like a cockroach, like many forms of diseases, am very hard to kill, very hard to get rid of. And for your assumptions, this week I'm going to be telling you how to irritate fans of all 32 NFL teams. Let's get to it. And what is up, people? That is right. I was gone for 1 whole week. I'm not quite sure how you survived without me. This video may come out late, so it may be more like 10 days. The point is, I was gone, you were unguided, and I apologize. I took a trip to the Holy Land, and I witnessed our Lord and Savior, Drake May, not quite win, but if you've never seen Rocky, I maintain that every completed pass by Drake May is like a moral victory. Just look at our last season and you'll know why. So, this week, something a little bit different because I may be a little bit late with this one. I would like to help you with a guide. We are, unfortunately, most of the way through the NFL season, and it's coming up on the holidays, so you may encounter fans of any team, depending on where you live. And at any given time, you're going to need to know, how do I piss this person off? And that is what I am here to help you with today. So, let's get underway. This is how to irritate any fan in the NFL, all 32 teams. Trademark, copyright, don't steal my shit. So, unfortunately, I want to get it out of the way. Let's start with the New England Patriots. If you were sitting down with me on Thanksgiving, I'm munching away on some turkey. A little less turkey, if you've noticed. A little slimmer. Jacket fits a little bit better. Yeah? Yeah? And you wanted to just irritate the hell out of me? How would you do it? Well, I'll tell you how you would do it. You would start with reminding us of how fucking great we were. Emphasis is on were, because it used to be the Patriot show every year. So if you're going to irritate a Patriots fan, maybe bring up Cam Newton, maybe bring up Mac Jones, maybe bring up our complete inability to draft anybody after 2018, with the exception of Christian Gonzalez and now Drake May. Maybe bring up the fact that we had the greatest coach of all time, and as soon as we lost Tom Brady, we went, woo! And are now a flaming crater of. Bring up the fact that we probably won't compete for the next 5 years, and bring up the fact that we are all delusionally in love with a 22-year-old man who looks like a child and probably won't be able to perform, might have a career-ending injury thanks to our inability to put a line around him. That would probably make me stop eating turkey. And we are going to go down the randomized list, and this is all off the top of my head, so just know that at any given time, I can piss you off. So, say you're sitting down with a Packers fan, they're a dime a dozen. I would go and bring up Jordan Love. Jordan Love is out there looking phenomenal. Jordan Love got paid after 1 season of elite pay. Not even a full season of elite pay. He only played well for like the second half of that. Jordan Love is able to sling the ball like Aaron Rodgers, but reads defenses like Brett Favre on his worst day. That man is bound to have 1 to 2 stupid interceptions every play, or every game rather. He will probably end up with 1 ring in his lifetime. Aaron Rodgers, 1 ring in his lifetime. Brett Favre, 1 ring in his lifetime. Why don't you have more rings, Packers? You have had 4, if we're assuming that Jordan Love is going to continue the tradition. 4 elite quarterbacks, 3 rings, decades of dominance, but not in the postseason. So, go away. You're not even needed in winter. And speaking of teams that are not needed in the postseason, next on our little list here are the Cowboys. What the f*** are you doing, Cowboys? This is garbage season for you guys. I was going to make fun of the fact if you asked me in the beginning of the year, I would make fun of the fact that you go 12-5 every year and then choke in the playoffs. But Christmas started early for you. I mean, oh my God. Can't win a game to save your lives while you have Micah Parsons and CeeDee Lamb and Diggs and just all of this talent. There's some injuries here and there, I get it, but your Super Bowl window is closed, out the window. The window has somehow gone through a window. You guys choke in the postseason, and that's funny, but you're not even going to make it to the postseason. Put down the turkey, get out of here. That brings us to the Bears. Bears, my God, you trade away the number 1 overall pick in a year where you could have gotten CJ Stroud. Okay, that's fine. You have DJ Moore, you have a couple other things, you have some draft capital, and this was the year. This is the year. So you get the number 1 overall pick, this hyped up prospect, you get Roma Doomsday to pair with him. The receiving core now has Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Roma Doomsday. You've got Swift in the backfield. You've got this elite defense. The only part of that that's true is that you have an elite defense. The else is happening? Caleb Williams is not looking like the prince who was promised. Caleb Williams is looking like a dude that paints his nails, goes on an NFL field, and gets plastered. There are flashes here and there of what we wanted and expected Caleb Williams to be, but he is not living up to it. So, Bears, if this does not pay off, you've wasted Caleb Williams. You are riding with Eberflus, which I do not understand at all. And now you have shown that you wasted Justin Fields. Pittsburgh is showing that you wasted Justin Fields. You also could have had Patrick Mahomes. But instead you got Mitch Trubisky. It's just a circle of failed quarterbacks. There is not one standout Chicago Bears quarterback other than Jay Cutler. I don't know. Going back to the 50s. I mean, yeah, you guys run the ball down people's throats and have, crazy defense, but God, you need a quarterback, and I don't think this kid's it. And next on my list of insults here, we have the now Los Angeles Chargers. Guys, you couldn't get it done when you had Phillip Rivers and LaDainian Tomlinson and Antonio Gates. You had such a trifecta of amazing offensive football, and you always manage to charger it away. Yeah, the last run of Phillip Rivers really was an elite team. Now you've got Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert is without a doubt an elite quarterback. Paid appropriately. You've got pieces on defense. You've got pieces on offense. You've got a great head coach. Here's the problem. The first time that Justin Herbert went to the playoffs, he chargered it. He gave up a massive lead. What was it, a 31-3, I believe, lead? You can correct me later if I'm wrong. But he gave up a 31-point lead to the Jags. We know how bad that is now. He chargered it, which means you're kind of destined to just keep being the Chargers. You look good during the regular season. You're not going to win your division because you've got the Chiefs there. And maybe you'll win a wild card game. I don't think you're going to win a divisional game. And you're kind of stuck in the mediocrity. That's just sad. You guys got to take the next step. Got to put some weapons around Justin Herbert and then watch him fail with those. I'm almost too excited about this one, guys. Next on our list, we have got the Browns. You deserve it. You deserve what's happening to you for signing Deshaun Watson. You guys had Baker Mayfield, which I think Tampa is proving what potential was there. You guys had Baker Mayfield, and you said, you know what? This kid that brought us to the postseason for the first time in ever, but this kid that brought us back to the postseason for the first time in like 20 years, screw him. Let's go get the Bill Cosby of football. Pay way too much for him. Watch him flounder for 2 years straight. Stay so committed to our decision to get him and so self-conscious about it that we refuse to admit that he is a literal ass. until he tears his Achilles, which is probably one of the better things that could have happened to you, except you owe him $72 million.
Huh?
Next year, you owe him $72 million the year after, and you lost all those draft picks. Honestly, I feel bad for the situation, but I don't, because that's what you get for signing this guy. I mean, 28 cases, and you still signed him. This is what you get. It's get Nick Chubb out of there, get Myles Garrett out of there, get Denzel Ward out of there. They deserve better. It's gross. Go away. Bills. We're going to keep this one short because you are having a phenomenal season. But there are only two things that you need to say to Bills fans. 4 chances in a row. 13 seconds. And then watch them jump through a flaming table. And next up on our little list here is the Rams, who are playing at a pretty high level. You got Puka Nacua, you got Cooper Kupp. And, you traded away Jared Goff, who has gone on to have arguably an MVP-like season. You had the most boring Super Bowl of all time against the Pats. Right now, there's really not a ton to roast you guys on, but you can't draft except if it's in the 3rd round. You can't play unless it's with aging quarterbacks. You're just kind of in a weird spot. You guys are weird. I really don't know what to roast you on. You have terrible cap space. Matt Stafford's getting old. You're not winning the Super Bowl this year. I don't know what you're going to add next year. You're kind of stuck right in the middle, but next up we have a fun one. Jags. You're going through it. You tanked. You got Trevor Lawrence. First year was rough. You had Urban Meyer kicking the kicker, doing dumb stuff, Tebow at tight end, all that nonsense. Then you got Doug Peterson. You're like, we're going to be taken seriously. You went on some good runs there. And then I don't know what the hell happened, but you are just garbage. Brian Robinson, I mean, you're putting some decent talent around Trevor Lawrence, but can't get it done. You're going to fire Doug Peterson. We all know you're going to fire Doug Peterson because that's what teams do. And you couldn't do it with Trevor Lawrence. He's stuck on a massive contract, and what you've got right now is what you're going to be stuck with for probably the next 5-6 years. So enjoy that, Jags, because that is a rough one. Eagles, man. Yeah, you got the Nick Folk year. And that's phenomenal. Right now, though, I don't know what's happening with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts was phenomenal until about the end of last season. Then he started to crash. You had the terrible run in the playoffs. Didn't start out great this year. Now you're going back up. But you missed the chance. And really all that I would say to irritate you, Bradbury held, man. He held Juju, and you deserve to lose that Super Bowl. Saints. If I had a Saints fan sitting across from me, I would bring up Nicole Roby Coleman and the non-call. You guys were right there. You couldn't get it done again with Drew Brees and Sean Payton. And now you're sitting there with a shell of a team in a horrible cap situation. You wanted to replay a game because you got your feelings hurt. What is that? Weak team, man. Out of here. Colts. All that I would say to the Colts. Peyton Manning, you got rid of too early. Whatever. But modern day Colts, your quarterback tapped himself out when he was tired.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the?
And that is the guy that you are relying on to win games. That's a rough one. All right, and next on our list we have the Bucks. The Bucks actually are in a pretty good situation, except for the fact that they all died in one game. You guys played the Ravens. You were looking elite. Baker was looking like he was that perfect replacement for Tom Brady. Mike Evans goes down. Chris Godwin goes down. All I would really bring up if I'm trying to piss you off is that you were Tom Brady's sloppy seconds, and Baker's not going to win any Super Bowls anytime soon. But you're probably going to be fun to watch, win some playoff games if you're into that kind of thing. And next we have the Bengals. Really all that I would want to mention to you is that you made it to the Super Bowl, probably the Super Bowl that you're going to get to with Joe Burrow, and you choked. And Joe Burrow stayed great, but you can't put an offensive line around the guy. That dude is fighting for his life. You've got Joe Burrow, you've got Jamar Chase, you've got T. Higgins. You have got the weapons for an explosive offense. Can't put the pieces around him, and now you're at the bottom of your division, right above the guys who bought Bill Cosby. Raiders, you are next on my list. If I had a Raiders fan sitting across from me, I would probably leave wherever I was, because I probably would not feel very safe in that situation. I was waiting for this one to pop up on my little list here. The Jets. How you guys feeling? You doing okay? You holding up? Because Aaron Rodgers is washed. Your chance was that season that he came running out with the flag and then tore his Achilles right off the bone. You have the ghost of Aaron Rodgers, which is very ironic given Sam Darnold was seeing ghosts. I don't know if he was seeing the future, how that works, but you are a team that is being run by a washed out hippie that can't complete more than a few good passes a game. He's convinced that he's still elite, and you are being run and terrorized by the ghost of Aaron Rodgers. And it's rough. You're going to need to cut that, man, and enjoy it in 20 years when you get Jordan Love. 49ers are such a great team. If I had a 49ers fan sitting across from me this Thanksgiving, all I would say is one guy, Patrick Mahomes. If Patrick Mahomes never existed, you would have the second part to your dynasty. But guess what? Patrick Mahomes exists, and you don't. You have the literal Avengers of football on your team, and you can't get it done because of one guy. That's rough. All right, Washington. I love watching you this year. You are so much fun. Kind of like you were the year that RG3 happened. I'm just putting it out there. You have set yourselves up to repeat history, and it is not a pleasant history. I hope nothing but the best for Jaden Daniels, but for purposes of this video, if I were trying to piss off a Washington fan, I would bring up the similarities between RG3, Jaden Daniels, and I would look deep in their soul, and you know that that's what they're thinking about. It's too perfect of a comparison. So, Washington, I hope that Jaden Daniels stays an elite quarterback for many years. But for the memes, I kind of hope that he hurts his knee, you play him anyway, and then it's a disaster. Titans. Why are you putting mayo in the coffee? The answer is not Will Levis. He is not good. And you got rid of such a good coach in Vrabel. The man literally said that he would bite a off, I believe his own, to win a Super Bowl. You let him go after he brought you to relevance, and now you're stuck with those decisions. Lions. I always mention that my boss is a Lions fan. Well, guess what? I took a new position. So, let's roast him a little bit, because now he can't hurt me as directly. He still has my home address, and I still talk to him quite a bit. But still, I can go off on him a little bit more. Unfortunately, there's not a lot to go off on. I was not just kissing ass when I said they were great. However, look at their history and tell me that the Lions are going to be the team to stop the three-peat. Right now, I think they're peaking too early. We've seen it happen a million times. Last year it was the Eagles. Every year there's somebody. Cardinals recently. But they are peaking, and they are peaking early. It is mid-November. They're dropping 50 points every week, going, whop, look at this. And I get it, you know. Goff is connecting to everybody. That run game is unstoppable. The line is just ironclad. You've got those just two elite running backs, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Sam Laporta hasn't really shown up this year. The defense, you did get Zadarius Smith. That was a smart move. And guys like Brian Branch getting thrown out of games, which was kind of bullshit. you've got a team that everybody wants to see win the Super Bowl, which means that no one's going to see them win the Super Bowl. Steelers are an interesting one. Somehow you managed to revive Russell Wilson, and that's very exciting. You also were swapping in Wilson and Fields. I don't really get that. But Steelers, you guys are kind of the picture of mediocrities here. Steelers are like, just right above it. Mike Tomlin has never gone worse than 8-8. He's never had a losing season. But you're not out there winning championships every year. I don't think that the current roster is going to win you a Super Bowl, but what the hell do I know? Very few losses on the year. You look like you revived the career of Russell Wilson, and you do, in reality, have great coaching and great weapons. I guess if I were to bring something up, it would probably be something about the Killer Bees. You know, why couldn't you get anything done with them? I don't know, maybe a man named Tom Brady. Out of here.
Now get the out of here.
Cardinals, you are next on my little list of doom here. You're a very interesting team. You're a spunky team. However, the one thing that I would say to you is you have a very above average quarterback who I really enjoy watching, but whenever he scrambles, which is constantly, he looks like a toddler. Does this not bother anybody? He literally looks like a toddler just kind of scooting around. He's got a great arm. You guys aren't going to win shit, by the way. But he's got a great arm. You got Marvin Harrison Jr. now. Somehow your defense is working. You got a great tight end. He looks like a toddler, and it bugs me. And just go away, Cardinals. Panthers, you are next on my list. And holy shit, did you fumble the number one pick. Bryce Young. You gave up so much to get Bryce Young. And CJ Stroud was right after him. To be fair, everyone did think that Bryce Young was the guy. I thought Bryce Young was the guy, and I'm very official. I have a jacket. I'm holding a pen. You know I know what I'm talking about, and I thought that Bryce Young was the guy. But, spoiler alert, he's not, and you can't put a good team around him, and you're in a not great financial situation. So, if I were to sit there, come up with something, I'd either bring up all those things I just said or ask you why Cam didn't dive on the ball. Why didn't he dive on the ball? Broncos. Really all that I would bring up is Patrick Mahomes. Anybody in the AFC West, all I'm going to do is say the name Patrick Mahomes and hope that you leave. Vikings, you are next on my list, and you can draft such good receivers. You are so good at drafting receivers. You're very bad at winning Super Bowls. Sam Darnold was looking great. You've had great quarterbacks throughout the years. You can never get it done, and I would probably just say wide right. Giants, you are next on my list. You are a very common fan for me to encounter living where I live over here. You fired Daniel Jones. I made fun of you when you picked him up and put him on that massive contract. But you got rid of Saquon Barkley, kept Daniel Jones, and then fired Daniel Jones mid-season. Your current run of drafting Daniel Jones till now can be summarized with the following clip.
What the hell? Oh my.
So that was Daniel Jones' entire career. It looked pretty good for a little bit, then you're like, ooh, this is looking shaky, and then he fell. That close to the goal line. It almost made it, not quite. He's gone. Now you got Tommy Cutlets. Get away from my table. All right, Texans. Texans are a weird one. I would probably... You know what? Texans, you're the one team that I'm not going to insult. You're the one team I'm not going to insult. Because I really like CJ Stroud. I really like Tank Dell. I really like Nico Collins. Stay healthy, have some of my turkey. Falcons, how you doing over there? Pats fan over here, suggesting what people can say to piss you off. What could it be? Yeah, probably that. Alright, and that brings us to our final team on the list, the Kansas City Chiefs. Oh, God. If I had a Kansas City Chiefs fan sitting across from me this Thanksgiving, and I wanted to irritate them. Probably the first thing that I would bring up is that Travis Kelce is completely faltering, failing. He's washed. It's not good. He is a distraction with Taylor Swift. You have a really, really opinionated kicker. Patrick Mahomes is statistically not having a great season. But most of all, I just probably wouldn't want to be eating my Thanksgiving dinner with you, because that was supposed to be us. We were the ones that irritated people by being so good, and now it's you, and I hate it, and just get away from my table. God, you're going to win again this year. We all know it. It's in the script, and yet we watch anyway. Josh Allen and all you Bills fans, I'm sorry ahead of time. All right, guys. So that's going to do it for today. This is a very long video to edit. This is being filmed on Friday. I'm not quite sure when it's going to end up coming out, maybe even into next week. So please catch me on the live streams. I am very happy to be back. I will see you all out there. Hope to see you over here. And happy holidays. Enjoy the football.